August 13th, 2018. It began like any other Monday in the quiet town of Frederick, Colorado. Nestled among peaceful neighborhoods and open landscapes, the town was known as a safe place where nothing unusual ever seemed to happen. But before the day was over, a shocking mystery would capture the attention of the entire world. At the center of that mystery was Shanann Watts, a 34-year-old mother, 15 weeks pregnant with her third child. She was a devoted wife, a loving mother to her two young daughters, and an active social media creator who often shared moments of her family's seemingly perfect life. Her husband, Chris Watts, was known as a quiet, hardworking, and reserved man. To friends, neighbors, and even those closest to the family, they appeared to have everything: a beautiful home, two adorable daughters, and a bright future ahead. But behind the smiling photographs and the image of a happy family, a devastating secret was quietly unfolding. Within days, the truth would leave an entire nation in disbelief. Chris and Shanann met in 2010 and quickly fell in love. Their relationship moved fast, and after 2 years of dating, they were married in November 2012. Like many newlyweds, they dreamed of building a happy home and a bright future together. In the years that followed, their family grew with the arrival of two daughters, Bella and Celeste. Their home was filled with laughter, family celebrations, and everyday moments that Shanann often shared on social media. To friends, relatives, and thousands of online followers, the Watts family appeared to have everything: a beautiful home, two adorable children, and a promising future. Shanann devoted herself to raising Bella and Celeste. She often described motherhood as the greatest joy of her life, and her daughters were at the center of everything she did. Bella, the older sister, was gentle and curious, while little Celeste was energetic, playful, and always smiling. Together, they brought warmth and happiness to everyone. But on August 13th, 2018, everything changed. After returning home from a business trip in the early hours of Monday morning, Shanann suddenly stopped answering phone calls and text messages. The silence was unusual and immediately worried her close friend, Nicole Atkinson, who had driven her home from the airport just a few hours earlier. Nicole went to the Watts family home and repeatedly knocked on the front door, but no one answered. Shanann's car was still parked in the garage, and all of her personal belongings appeared to be inside the house. As the minutes passed, Nicole's concern quickly turned into fear.
Unable to reach Shanann and believing that something was terribly wrong, Nicole contacted the Frederick Police Department and requested a welfare check. Within a short time, officers arrived at the Watts home, unaware that they were about to begin an investigation that would become one of the most shocking family murder cases in American history.
As investigators arrived at the Watts home, they began searching for any clues that could explain Shanann's sudden disappearance. Chris Watts remained calm and cooperative, answering questions and allowing officers to look around the house. But investigators soon turned their attention to a nearby security camera. The footage captured Chris moving his truck in the early morning hours, a detail that would later become an important piece of evidence in the case. While watching the video, detectives began noticing small details that raised questions. Chris's behavior appeared unusual, and his reactions did not seem to match the situation of a husband whose wife and children were missing. As the investigation continued, detectives started examining every part of Chris and Shanann's lives. They looked into their relationship, their family history, and the events leading up to the disappearance.
To the outside world, Chris appeared to be a concerned husband searching for his missing family. But behind the scenes, investigators were beginning to uncover inconsistencies that suggested there was much more to the story.
As the investigation continued in Frederick, Colorado, detectives began piecing together the events surrounding Shanann Watts and her two daughters. What first appeared to be a missing persons case was slowly becoming something far more disturbing. The quiet streets of this Colorado neighborhood became the center of a massive investigation. Detectives searched for answers, following every clue and retracing the movements connected to the Watts family's final hours. Their investigation eventually led authorities away from the neighborhood and toward the Survey 319 oil site, a remote area located about 45 minutes from the Watts family home. On August 16, 2018, investigators made a heartbreaking discovery at the oil site. The search for Shanann and her daughters came to a tragic end when their bodies were found. News shocked the nation. Bella and Celeste, two innocent young children whose smiles had touched so many people, were gone. The family that once appeared perfect had become the center of one of the most heartbreaking crimes in recent American history.
After investigators uncovered the truth behind the disappearance of Shanann Watts and her two daughters, Chris Watts was arrested, and the case quickly gained national attention. During court proceedings, Chris faced the consequences of his actions as the details of the crime shocked the public. The man who once appeared to be a quiet family father was now at the center of a devastating murder case.
Investigators also revealed more about the events leading up to the tragedy, including Chris Watts's relationship with Nicole Kessinger. Their relationship became a major part of the investigation as detectives searched for a motive behind his actions. On November 19, 2018, Christopher Watts appeared in court for his sentencing hearing in Greeley, Colorado. In front of the victims' families and the public, he received 5 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole.
The case left many unanswered questions about trust, deception, and how someone could hide such a dark reality behind the image of a normal family life. Messages and details from the days before the murders revealed a disturbing picture of the events leading up to one of America's most shocking family tragedies.
In the aftermath of the tragedy, people across the country gathered to remember Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. Flowers, candles, and memorials became symbols of grief and love for a family whose lives were taken far too soon. The quiet streets surrounding the Watts family home, once a place where ordinary family moments took place, became forever connected to a tragedy that shocked the nation.
Behind the perfect image of a happy family was a hidden truth that no one saw coming. The smiles, the photographs, and the life shown to the outside world had concealed a devastating reality. Today, Chris Watts remains in prison, serving multiple life sentences for his crimes. He was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, ensuring that he will never return to society.
The Watts family tragedy changed many lives forever. It left behind unanswered questions, lasting pain, and a reminder that behind every story are real people whose lives and memories deserve to be remembered. In the end, this case is not only about a crime, but also about the lives lost and the family members left behind to carry the weight of an unimaginable tragedy.
This case is a painful reminder that behind every tragedy are real lives, real families, and people who will carry the consequences forever. While we may never fully understand every thought and decision that led to this devastating crime, one lesson remains clear. Anger, fear, and desperation can never be allowed to control our actions.
Family conflicts, relationship problems, and painful words spoken during moments of anger can create deep wounds. But violence is never the answer. Especially when children are involved, their safety and innocence must always come first. A single moment of uncontrolled emotion can destroy many lives, including the life of the person who chooses violence.
The story of the Watts family is not only a story about a crime. It is also a reminder to seek help, communicate, and step away before anger turns into something irreversible. Bella and Celeste be remembered not only for the tragedy they suffered, but for the love and happiness they shared during their lives.